Okay. That was not terrible. Oh my God. Okay. Oh. It's my debut, isn't it? I'd like to think it's my debut. And with my debut, I should probably put some lip gloss on. What do you think? I don't have anything up my nose. Okay. This is as good as it's gonna get, ladies and gents. When you get old, there's shit that starts happening to you that you neither agree with, condone, or want. Okay. My car is warm. Oh, I'm ready to go. Okay, I'm wearing these crazy boots that are for this weather, but not really for driving. I've got to be honest with you. It's not a good driving. Oh, my driveway is so long that, I mean, I'm grateful it's so long. I'm not ungrateful. Don't get me wrong. Okay. But, Jesus, I don't have one of those cameras. And holy Moses, please, Lord Jesus, it's not, oh, let's stay steady. Oh my Lord. Because we've got snow slash slush slash, yesterday it was raining. Oh, and I've only got 2 out of my 4 wheels working. Because I was really smart when I lived down south. We'll get there. I took off all-wheel drive because, well, let's just face it, 4-wheel drive is a nuisance when it comes to paying. It's so expensive to have 4-wheel drive. All right, let me get my hair out of the way. Okay, so hello. Let's get you a little bit more up. Hopefully, this darn thing doesn't... I'm a hot mess. Hang on. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna use some handy dandy. Oh yeah, that's gonna be way more better. Way more better. Okay, so now you're not gonna move anymore on me. Okay. All right, nobody's behind us. All right, just stop in the middle of the road. Yeah, that's me. Anyway, hi. I'm Rose, and I've decided it's going to be a little bumpy road here. Sorry, because I mean my road is well, it's an unorganized township, and as a result, the roads are, well, let's just say they're iffy. And today, because it is raining slash snowing, the roads are particularly bumpy. So let me introduce myself. My name is Rose. And I'm kind of a prickly thinker. Shut up. That back wiper, you always forget about it and then all the time. Anyway, squirrel. I'm really wondering if Johnny Bravo, I watch Johnny Bravo all the time. Shout out to you. I love you. I mean, not like love like your wife love, but like love your show. I subscribe and thumbs up all the time, by the way, Johnny. He talks about finances and cue the fire. Everything's always on fire. I love it. But anyway, back to me. I'm a prickly thinker. That's why this channel is Thorny Thoughts. For many, many years, I've wanted to start a YouTube channel, and I mean like many years. Like, I'm talking 15 years ago. I went to my best friend from grade school. I mean, I've been
friends with her since grade 7. And I went to her because her husband happened to actually be, oh, by the way, we're going for eggs, and hopefully there are some eggs, because, you know, when you're living in the deep country, because I'm living in the deep country, something you have to get used to is not everything you plan actually turns out, which actually is such a teacher in itself, but maybe we'll get to that one day. Today, I just want to have the courage to come out and introduce myself. That's it. That's all I want to do, and I want to tell you why I've finally come out after 15 years of being totally terrified to do this. I was terrified of rejection mostly, and also I have a lot of great ideas in my head, and I'm really good at coming up with solutions to things. I'm just not good at implementing and following through, because I think I fall into that category of people that, well, you know what, at least I didn't fail. But lately, when you reach over 50, which I'm not saying I am, I'm not saying that, okay? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that when you do get over that hump, you start giving less F's. And I've always been a strange bird. I've always had a different perspective, but I have never ever found a way to relay it to people of like minds. Like, I can go to the water cooler and I can hang out with you and we can have a discussion, and I can be the coolest person to talk to, but 90% of what I wanted to say, I haven't been able to say, because again, I'm a thorny thinker, and most people will call me negative or pessimistic, or, oh, that's a conspiracy theory, or that's stupid outright. And I'm the person that goes to a party, which I used to do a lot before I ran away from civilization and became a hermit, which is current, but we'll get to that eventually. I used to go to a lot of parties where I used to be the girl that was having the complete opposite opinion of 30 other people, and I was having a discussion with all 30 at the same time, and I never felt ganged up on. So I never ever felt that, because I'm too much of a force to be reckoned with. My very good friend calls me a chihuahua, which I am, because I'm small, but I can damage with my teeth, with my mouth, with my words. And so I am going to be very careful how I talk on my Thorny Thoughts channel. But I finally my biggest problem for so many years is, what should I do on YouTube? What should I say? I have nothing to share. I like everything. I like soap making. I like a little bit of sewing. I like a little bit of cooking. I like a little bit of baking. I do my own bread. I like chickens. I like pets. But I don't like any one thing to be like, that's the only thing I do. I used to teach belly dancing, and I used to teach yoga, and I went to school for both. But I was never like that teacher. I was a very good teacher, and my students or my people really liked me, and they thought I was a really good teacher. And I'm not. This isn't like throwing my resume. Holy crap, it's hot in here. Oh my goodness, it was at 32. We do not need that. That is not required. That's overkill. But I was never one of those teachers, you know, those teachers that you go to and they're like, everything is belly dance, everything is yoga, or everything is cooking, everything is baking, everything is everything, that one subject. Also, I'm not a person that has like a favorite color. You know when people say, oh, do you have a favorite color? And I'm like, how can you discriminate against all the other colors and just pick one? I wouldn't be able to do that. But I think those people also think differently than me. I am so interested in so many different things that it kind of makes me not interested or like a master in one thing. But I'm really good at a lot of other things. Like I'm really good at doing a lot of things, but just a little of those things. I'm not like a master at any of them. So I do think that that is a different kind of brain. Went on a tangent there, sorry. Anywho, so all that to say, I'm Rose, and I'm a thorny thinker. I generally have an opinion that's unpopular, and seeing as how now I've become a hermit, and as I said, I'll talk about that in another video, I don't have too many people to talk to, even if it's not about things that I don't generally want to talk about. So that being said, I thought, hey, maybe, just maybe, there is a community of people all around the world, maybe people that are English speaking, and also I speak fluent Polish because I came from Poland. I immigrated from Poland to Canada, which is a whole other story. But I'm hoping to find friends that maybe for once, maybe, just for once, think like me. Or I don't even need you to think like me, or I don't even need the group of people to think like me, but maybe even just to agree on a couple of points. Oh, there you go, my setup. Oh, there's that. Oh. Don't you love when you wear lip gloss? It like picks crap up. That's why I don't really wear it too often. I'll probably really get tired of putting it on just to impress you guys. But anyway, so I'm hoping that I can find at least people that I can converse with on a level of me not having just to talk about movie stars and sports, which is my favorite waste of time, and or talking about this recipe and that recipe. Although since I've moved out into the country, that is definitely a bigger thing that I can relate to. But again, there's only so much baking and cooking stuff I can talk about, because at the end of the day, I don't eat that crap. And that's another story. I've got a lot to say, it's just I don't think anybody's gonna give a rat's ass about it. But engaging with people is something that I would prefer to, I think, do at a distance right now until I find my people. I have a couple of people in my life that I've moved away from because now I live in the middle of nowhere. As you can see, we're going to get eggs, and we're on, I don't know how many minutes. I think I've been driving like 10-15 minutes already. And I don't even know if I'm going to get eggs. That's the fun part. But I don't mind that so much, because then I have to get creative in other ways. I do have a backup plan if I don't have eggs for tomorrow morning's breakfast. Anyway, groups of people. So I'm hoping that there isn't too many people that dislike me, because I think that that's going to be my challenge, is caring less for people that have no value or I don't value to be an asset in my life. I think that's hard for all of us. I think we always, another train. Oh, we're probably gonna tip over again. No. I think that's a big problem for people, being accepted. I think because we're such herd animals, and I think we're more like chickens, to be honest, than like sheep. We are probably a lot like sheep, but we are very much like chickens. And I think it's because chickens really like follow each other without question. Like, you can have a chicken that picks up a piece of plastic, thinks it's got something, and then 14 other chickens are chasing it because that first chicken thinks that it's got something valuable. And we're very much like that, whether it's in trends, it's fashions, whether it's in, I mean, quite frankly, anything. But anyway, I just meander. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. So, about 25 years ago, before I wanted to start a YouTube channel, I actually wanted to, the type of YouTube channel that I wanted, I drive like a grandmother, so there's going to be like, this person's probably going to pass me because they're going to be like, what the hell is your problem? But I, honestly, I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? Oh yeah. When I wanted to start a YouTube channel, I wanted to start it, and I wanted it to be like, I started researching just like trends and things like that on, you know, just to get myself beefed up for what I'm gonna do. So I did that, and I realized that the type of channel that I wanted, the pièce de résistance, we're gonna see if I'm gonna get eggs, and then I'll get right back to the story. I gotta get my cash. Oh jeez, that's not the right pocket for my cash. 10. Okay, let's see if we can get 4 dozen. I'm gonna switch you around. Let's see if I can get those eggs, baby. Fingers crossed, everybody. No cigar, ladies and gents. See? What did I tell you? I don't know if I've got you guys on the right angle, but what did I tell you? It's crazy. All right. Now let's see if we can get up this hill. Oh yeah. It looks like we might. Oh yeah. All right, so no eggs for today. I'm gonna try again tomorrow. Anyway, she's a friend, and you know what? I guess she's popular because when I've got just a couple of more weeks or months before I have my own. But anyway, back to what I was saying. See, you forget about that stupid wiper and it just wipes. So basically, when I started doing my research, the type of format, I guess you would call it, that I wanted to do was having sort of a nonsensical conversation with my girlfriend, with my best friend. Kind of like Call Her Daddy, except minus the vulgarities, because those girls made it by being pigs like Howard Stern, except a girl version. And I'll get to why I think that's a problem. And I'll get to why I think they add to our very, very big problem in society. I truly believe that we are facing an existential crisis with finance, with morals, with our human roles, whether it be woman or man. And haters come at me. Haters come at me. But there's a lot of confusion in that department, and there really shouldn't be. It's really that simple. Oh, there's a thorn. It's coming out. Thorny opinion. And I view, since all of this nonsense has come out, I've noticed that people are like, oh, you're so opinionated. Well, my response to that is that if you do not have an opinion, you are not practicing your brain, and you don't have a functioning brain. And maybe if you don't want to have an opinion, you'll have more in common with a vegetable than with a human, because humans have to have an opinion. Again, crossing some of these train tracks are kind of actually scary. People have died on them, but it's cool because you are responsible for being responsible about making sure the trains are coming and, not be stupid. Again, discernment. So all that to say is I'm opinionated, and my opinions are thorny. And if you do not like thorny opinions, certainly we are not meant to be friends, and certainly you're not meant to watch my channel, because if you just come on here to be offended, because you're the one ultimately that has to click the button, you're ultimately the one that has to say, I'm going to listen to what she's got to say. And if you've got an open mind for that, then you should also either stop watching if you don't like what I have to say, or consider it, or tell me your side and don't attack. Because when you attack, you're shutting down conversation. And if you're shutting down conversation, you actually don't want freedom, whatever it is you want freedom to do with, whether it's feminism, whether it's transgenderism, whether it's racism, any of those items, you have to be able to you have to be willing to consider the other side, just like I have to be willing to consider the other side as well. But if your side is scripted by Hollywood, which oftentimes that's what I find, and if your thoughts are scripted by our politicians and by the very people that want to take advantage of you and me, then we're going to have a thorny situation. So, again, squirrel. About 25 years ago, I think that my personality, because we all have a different personality, we all have different things that we're drawn to. Some are drawn to more positive things, some are drawn to more negative things. Like some people are very violent, and I don't understand that. And some people are too pacifist, which I don't understand as well. I think that I'm kind of in the middle. I want to be as peaceful in my speech and in my actions as I possibly can, but put me in the corner and the chihuahua and the thorns will come out and I will scare you. But I think everybody should have that. Even a mouse. Have you ever seen a mouse be hunted by a cat? I dare you to watch it. Oh, this guy's gonna get so pissed off because he's behind me. And I'm driving like a grandmother, which I am, so it's okay. But the bottom line is that you should have the ability to defend yourself and be more aggressive when need be, and you should always be as peaceful as possible, especially to weaker people. And I think that's been torn upside down. So back to the 25 years where before I lost my train of thought, which will happen a lot. I found this gentleman called Alan Watt, not Watts, not the frou-frou philosopher, Alan Watt, TT, no S. And his at the time, and still is, website was Cutting Through the Matrix. This man was, well, like his wife, I would agree with his wife's assessment, mind-blowing. 25 years ago, when I first started listening to him, I was in disbelief. Let's just put it that way. And I listened not because I believed and understood what he was saying, because the thing is I've been listening to him for 25 years, and it's only in the last 4 years where I am fully now feeling I'm starting to understand this man after 25 years of listening. Needless to say, he passed away, which I was devastated about. That changed a lot in me. I can't believe that someone I've never met, someone I've never talked to, I wrote to him and I ordered some books from him, and he wrote me a little note, which I was thrilled about. That's another story about what happened when that happened. I've subsequently spoken to his wife, which I'm just so grateful for. But he was able to open my eyes, because at first, when you don't want to hear something that you think is negative, it's disbelief and rejection. Right away, you want to reject something. And that was me, because I was the social butterfly. I wanted to be liked by everybody. I was a people pleaser. I'm still a people pleaser, because I don't think you can take that out of a personality, just like you can't take aggression out of a personality. There is a way to learn about yourself and your aggression or your pleasing personality. Because I'm a pleaser, I have to be very careful that I don't say yes to everything, and then I don't resent people because I've said yes. That's on me, not on them. But oftentimes we blame other people for our shortcomings, and that's what I started to learn about 25 years ago. But it's taken me 25 years to really understand, well, I'm gonna say everything that I've learned so far. And now that I've learned so much in the last 4 years, I realize I know nothing. I realize I know absolutely diddly squat, and that's about it. And anybody else that comes across like they know everything, they know nothing. They know very little. They think they know something. They know a little bit of something, but they don't know. So I started learning. I was a religious listener, just like I tried to listen to Alex Jones. And Alex Jones, you just want to throw yourself off a cliff, because that guy just doesn't shut up. He doesn't take a breath. Oh, you know what? I'm going to stop in and get the mail, since I didn't get any eggs. Might as well come home with something. And we here in Canada have had a mail strike for 5 weeks because the government workers don't make enough money. No. In Canada, we pay some of the highest taxes, and yet they don't make enough. Let me see if I've got some mail. Wow. You go to the mail, and like advertising. Okay, so they want to do a carbon tax in Canada, because that's going to help global warming. Don't you know that the environment will totally heal when you tax the people to death? Okay. Anyway, back to unthorny. I got to be as nice as possible in my intro. I don't really want to be very thorny yet. Anyway, so I started listening to the alternative media. I even listened to David Icke. I'll let you know right off the top that I even listened to Mr. Icke. He has a lot of interesting things to say. I will say that I can't go all the way with what he says because some of the things are just beyond my ability to wrap my brain around it. But who's to say that we don't have some weird entities watching over us? I mean, they surely know how to divide us. It seems like a recipe, doesn't it? Kind of does to me. Anyway, so I was on this journey, and during this time, my cousin lived with me, and she helped me raise my children. And she lived with me for 20 years, and she helped us raise our children. And she was my soul sister. She really was. She was my sister from another mister. And honestly, we had a love that allowed me. Life gives you a bunch of traumas. Everybody has trauma. So the fact that people are like, oh, trauma this, trauma that, that's life. Life is traumatic. Have you ever seen wild animals? Half of them have like a half tail taken off. Half of them have like scratches, or they're missing a finger or a toe or an ear nibbled. Life is tough. Just because they've artificially made us believe in cities that life is just easy as a click away, that's not the way that life is. Life is traumatic sometimes, and your body doesn't know the difference between being told you're a fat ass, which is traumatic to hear, even though you have a mirror and you know if you have a fat ass. But it's traumatic when someone else utters this out of their mouth. It doesn't know really the difference between that and like being raped, really, ostensibly. There's a really good book on this, and it's called The Body Keeps a Score. Read it. So we all have traumas, all of us. And when you have a connection with someone, a true connection with someone, it heals it. It heals a lot of your traumatic wounds, and then you realize that life is one big cluster. From day to day, you're dealing with this problem and that problem. You don't have money to pay your bill, or you got an income tax bill, or that you weren't expecting, or your furnace breaks down. These are all little micro traumas. And your body feels like it's being chased by a bear, but is it being chased by a bear? No. And we have to put these things in perspective. So my cousin lived with us for 20 years, and she was, the love of our life. We just loved her, and she just loved us. And there was just, we fought. We had our differences. We told each other off. We did our thing. And I believe that when you can fight with someone, you have a real relationship. When you can fight with someone, state what you mean and try not to hurt them at the same time. But if you hurt them, you could say, look, I was really hurting you. I was trying to hurt you. I was going for the jugular. Sorry, I was an ass, whatever. And if you can come back from that time and time again, like, okay, you're not going to be fighting every day. That's ridiculous. But what I mean is, a healthy fight is a fight that isn't, to try to hurt the person without any cause. You just want to get it out. So we had a beautiful soulmate kinship. She got diagnosed with cancer in 2017, and that was ostensibly the day that I thought I was going to die. I really thought I was going to die. Because I couldn't imagine my life without her. And that's the truth. I thought I was going to die. And depression in my family was so rampant that I was afraid that I was going to succumb to depression. And I was very, very physically scared of that. Fast forward to 2021, she dies. Before she dies, we make sure that from the moment we know she's going to die, which is 9 days before she dies, we start fighting, because this was at the height of coronavirus. We start fighting to bring her home. We bring her home. She dies 7 days later. And that was the beginning of my journey alone. Because up until that time, me and her were, she was my crutch in many ways. We had such a close-knit relationship. It was just an unusually close relationship in the sense that I depended on her friendship. We were each other's, along with my husband, but we were each other's confidants. I knew that I could tell her anything, my opinions, even when she didn't agree, which was so many times. She would listen to my opinion, I would listen to hers, and it was the healthiest relationship, I think, that I've had, and it actually made mine and my husband's relationship healthy, and she was my husband's best friend as well. It was such a hit to our family that her living her last dying days at home were so imperative. I didn't realize at the time how important that was in life, and how death, if you do not allow it to squash you, because death can either literally break you or it can teach you. Oh, it can teach you so much. I'm still learning. But let's not go that far. I just wanted to, all that to say is that we were living in the city. We were doing the running like the squirrel on the wheel. And she said, about 2 days before she died, she was having these moments where she was in and out. Like, you can tell that she was seeing something that wasn't there. You don't have to believe it, but I saw it firsthand. She was talking about people that had long passed, and it was as if they were there. And she said to us, what you're doing, what we're doing here, it's not worth it. Then she passed, and that's when I decided that we need to escape this thing we call life, which is running around for little papers and for better clothes and for better lip glosses. And that's when we started the journey. So in 2021, ostensibly was when her death, the takeaway for us was that we need to stop living this crazy life. We need to accept that time is the only thing that we are given along with this vessel, and that we are going to do everything that we can in her honor so that her lesson isn't left, on deaf ears. We decided that, no, we're leaving this satanic rat race for something better. And that's what we're trying to do. But that's another story. And that's really it. That's a sample of, I guess, what I have to say. And I passed my house, so I have to turn around. I got so into talking that I freaking missed my spot. So my channel is Thorny Thoughts. I hope for all of you who have similar thinking that we can be friends, because I think I'm just ready with letting it all out there. I think we're at a time where we all need to wake up because there isn't a lot of time to sleep anymore. Time is up. And the time is here to either wake up and start realizing that we've been had and that we're being pushed into a direction that is not beneficial spiritually or emotionally or even physically good for us. It's not advantageous at all. And we need to start coming together. I think there isn't a lot of time, to be honest. And my personality, anybody that knows me knows that I am either 10 years ahead of an idea. Like belly dancing I did in my late 20s, early 30s. And I did it for about 15 years. And I mean, I can still, ostensibly, I can still do it. It's just I don't teach anymore. And I'm not, it's really not important to me. I do it once in a while for stretching and things like that. But for me, it's just not important. Yoga, the same. I started doing that very early on, and now everybody was into the belly dancing and the yoga, and I'm already moving on. So that's one side of me. Or the other side of me sits on an idea and becomes the president and CEO of procrastination, which in this case, I've been so scared to come in front of the camera and talk and record myself and put myself out there. I think that's why I wanted to have the crutch of my friend coming on with me, because I was afraid of what comes out of my mouth will be hated. But now I'm ready to practice my strength in being able to look at people that are nasty as just that, people that are nasty. And those people, the people that are nasty, and those people that get triggered, and those people that get offended. Remember, you get offended at me, you say your thing, but you have to live with you. I don't have to live with you. And that's what I take real pride in, that I don't need to worry about you all the time. I just need to listen to what you have to say. I need to digest it because I will consider it. I just won't accept it if it doesn't ring true to me. And there is something called facts, even though right now they're on, well, let's just say they're put on hold because most people don't believe in facts. Oh my gosh, I have such a good story about a gentleman that I had a conversation with about facts. And he was older than me, which also, that's another frightening thing. There's a lot of older people that aren't wiser because they're older. And I feel that we, as we age, if we're not getting wiser, then what are we doing? What are we doing? Anyway, that's kind of it. I really, truly hope that on this journey that I've decided to finally jump out at, I hope I find some like-minded people. Someone that doesn't mind listening to my meanderings. And maybe walks through the thorny bushes of a rose. So, I guess for now, I want to wish everyone an amazing 2025, even though I do think that 2025 will be bumpy. And I don't think it's going to get better. I think things are going to get a little tougher. And I think that's why I think it's important to reach out and see if I can find like-minded people, because I think we're going to need that. So wishing everyone out there a safe healthy, and happy new year for 2025.